There I was, right? Me and my uncle were smoking like this kind of this new thing. I think it was like opium or crocodile, something like that. I don't know. And then out of nowhere, you know, an earthquake hit. We were getting attacked by earthquake men. They were jumped out of these caverns and tried to fight us. So basically, in today's video, I just want to talk about the Great Molasses Flood that happened in I think January 5th in 1919 in Boston, Massachusetts. And I know this video is like kind of late, and you'll get a second one today. I'll try and get one later tonight, and then tomorrow I'll try and make two, so one in the morning and one at night. We'll see if I can do. We'll see. I'll try to do that. So yeah. But basically, when a steel tank full of molasses ruptured in 1919, a lot of physics and neglected contribution to making the accident so horrific, leading to 21 deaths. I think over 100 something people got injured, and it was like 2 million uh 2 million gallons of molasses that flowed out like a tsunami, and it was moving at 35 miles an hour, which is actually surprisingly fast for a syrup like stuff. But oh, it says right here actually 150 people were injured. The smell of molasses lingered for decades. That's actually insane. That molasses can last a long. I guess it smells sweet then. The molasses flooded streets, crushed buildings, and trapped horses in an event that ultimately killed 21 people. Yeah, that's crazy. 100 years later, analysis have pinpointed a handful of factors that combine to make the natural disaster so dangerous. Among them, flawed steel, safety oversight, fluctuating air temperatures, and the principles of fluid dynamics. Results were devastating. First, you kind of laugh at it, then you read about it, and it was just horrible. And it says Mark Roosevelt or something, a civil engineer and professor emeritus at South Illinois University in Edwardsville, who has written about the molasses flood. I mean, yeah, it is kind of funny that um a city got flooded by molasses because you would never expect that. I mean, it's sad that people died from it, obviously, but it's still like pretty funny. Imagine being from that city in that year, and you're like, "Yo, fun fact: my city got flooded by molasses in 1919." What the hell? That was only 3 years ago. I know. It still smells like molasses to this day. It's just funny. But this is just, and it shows like these pictures, and I'll put some up on the screen. But it was like smashed vehicles, during debris sitting in a puddle of molasses on a commercial street. The next day, the giant tank flooded. Sitting a Oh wait, the next day after a giant tank, Boston's north end collapsed, sending a wave of 2 more gallons of molasses. The tank was 58 feet high and 98 feet in diameter. It was used to store molasses, which eventually was shipped to a distillery in Cambridge. A gooey molasses formed a tidal wave that reached a depth of 15 feet in places was 100 yards wide over a 2 block area. The incident, yeah. Rubble is all that's left of the fire station after molasses flood. And elevated train structure in a twisted mass of metal. Police, firemen, Red Cross workers. Wow, Red Cross was a thing back then? That's kind of crazy. Civil volunteers and cadets from the USS Nantucket, I don't know, training ship docked nearby rushed to the scene to rescue as many people as they could. And in the immediate aftermath, news coverage included speculation about fermentation, that the product too much pressure inside the tank. Some blamed Archer anarchists for setting off a bomb. Explosion theory was favored by reported the Boston Event or Evening Globe. The trial that ensured lasted for years and gathered input from thousands of expert witnesses, producing 200,000 pages of conflicting testimonies. Ultimately, U.S. Industrial Alcohol, the company that owned the tank, was found liable. Even as many questions remain about what had happened. I'm pretty sure it was a tank. So the steel tank was designed to hold 2.5 million gallons, and it was like 50 feet high, 90 feet in diameter. But it was steel walls ranged from 0.65 inches thick at the bottom and 0.31 at the top, which were super thin. And they were too thin to support the weight of a full tank. Oh yeah, so I guess it was the company, and it says stresses were too high on the rivet holes where cracks were first formed. Although molasses had been poured into the container 29 times, only 4 of those refills were to near captivity. The fourth top off happened 2 days before the disaster when a ship arrived from Puerto Rico carrying 2.3 million gallons of molasses. At that point, the tank had enough molasses to fill 3.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Both of the indicated thickness and rivet were signs of negligence. The structural engineers knew better at the time, but the tank had been built quickly in the winter of 1915 to meet rising demand for industrial alcohol, which could be distilled from molasses and sold to weapon companies who used it to make dynamite and other explosives for use during World War I. And instead of inspecting the tank, filling it with water first to test its flaws, USIA ignored all warning signs, including groaning noises every time it was filled. Yikes. There were also obvious cracks before the tank blew. Children would bring cups to fill with sweet molasses that dripped out of it. That's how you know you messed up, bro. If it makes noises and kids are getting free molasses out of it, you messed up. I don't know. But like, that's not even, dude. I don't know why people don't understand this. Like that's such a danger hazard. Like, that's not even a danger hazard. It's just straight up like dangerous. It's like trying to put 2 gallons of liquid in a small soda can of a tank. You're trying to put all that liquid in there, bro. I mean, the more water you get, obviously, the more thick a can has to be. Because cans are pretty thin, to be fair. I know this went off on a rant, but whatever. So it said here that mild temperatures followed by cold trapped victims in fluid. It says the day's mild conditions probably aided the spread of molasses, which flowed outward for about 2 blocks. Conditions grew much worse that night as temperatures dropped, causing the liquid to become increasingly viscous. Already pinned down by fallen buildings, some victims then became stuck in molasses. The liquid was a foot deep in some places. Dang. I mean, that's not like really tall, but I mean, just imagine getting stuck in a foot of molasses, bro. At least one person died by, I don't know, hours after the incident. Rescuer efforts would have likely been easier, she suspects, if the accident happened in the middle of July. There's plenty of science to explain what went wrong in the molasses flood, but the accident ultimately boils down to and this is going off script, but boils down to the incident of like the company itself by not making the thing, I guess, big enough or thick enough. That was really the problem. It wasn't thick enough. The cold temperatures, and yeah, I think at the time buildings weren't as like structurally secure. So yeah, that also added to it. But that's gonna be it for this video. My next one later might just be I think I was planning to react to like some of the cheapest mobs or something. So yeah, this is what I guess you could just call this like my little filler. Like I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.